Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, April 29th, and we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the the SPY IWM triple Qs. And right off the bat, had a really poor day because of my stubbornness. We'll get to that in a second. If there's one thing that I explained to the room that I learned today that we all have to learn, and I always say this, but I don't give them as much credit as they deserve. We need to give short-term algorithms and retail traders like ourselves more credit for how much they can stretch a market. Because boy, did they stretch it on both sides. We gapped to an all-time high, only to fill the gap, take out yesterday's low, test a balance low, have a chance for an outside day down, and end up with an outside day up. Amazing. I said I'm looking for a $7 to $10 move one way or the other. Well, we basically got an $8 move today, but it was all inside of each other. Down 4, up 4. So that doesn't count. So I'm still looking for that move. Question is, when is it going to happen? Triple Qs. We all gapped higher today. All filled out gaps. Triple Qs never got their overnight high. So their all-time high is still in the overnight. They did not end up with an outside day down or up, although they came close to an outside day up, but they didn't get it. Russell gapped higher. Open and drive, straight down, filled it. Chance for an outside day down. Didn't get it. They closed inside yesterday's range. We gap higher. Close the gap, chance for an outside day down. Do get an outside day up. That's bullish. Value went from higher to unchanged to overlapping to higher late in the day. Volume's going to be average, which is pretty good considering the last 3 days were 50 million plus. We're at 76 million with the after hours to go. So that should provide at least us getting back to average. Amazon earnings came out after the bell. And right now they're up 5%, my friends. My goodness, up $180 as they rip. I guess that's an all-time high. Let me see real quick if that's an all-time high for Amazon. Yes, it is. So they are trading at an all-time high here in after hours. SPY's not moving much. Triple Q's moving more. Now, what happened today? I was having a fantastic day till I decided to be stubborn. And I'll get to that in a minute. I actually took a long in A period. I said I will look for longs. I didn't do it right away. Actually waited for a bigger long. I started it where I was comfortable, small size. Then I added to it pretty good. And then in A period, when it started going back up, we were having trouble at the opening. The second 15-minute bar, couldn't even get the opening. So when that started happening, took off my longs. It turned out to be a good trade. I was very happy with that trade. Then in B period, I still had some of my long. And then I took a bigger short when B took out A's low because I thought there was a good chance of us going back, filling the gap and then going back up. So I had made good money on most of the long. I still had some. I took a bigger short. We came down, filled the gap, came in a little more, took the short off, and then believe it or not, I added to the longs. So it was the 418 longs, it was the 422, 418 calls, 422 puts. So I still had my 25 calls, but I did well on the puts and then added good size initially when we got down to around L's high, and then we started pushing up again in B. And I said, I don't like the way this action is working. If we can't get above yesterday's high again, took it all off. But everything worked out on that trade. The long in A, the long in B, the short in B, everything worked out. And then I started, once we took out B's low and we had this trend day down, started the short game. Started scalping shorts, the 420s in C and in D. Even when we filled the single prints, I was like, we're still one time framing down, I will short. As long as we don't take out C's high. And that's what I did. So the morning was going great. F actually took a short when we took out E's low. We were starting to get acceleration. This one was the 418 puts. Did well on them as they came back in, but we were at a very visual level, which was Tuesday's low, the bottom of the 3-day balance. I got out of the short, and I actually was like, maybe for the first time down here, I should take a long against the balance low. I didn't do it. Great morning. Now I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting an outside day down. But I thought we should look for an afternoon rally high. I didn't think we'd give back everything the sellers had worked for. So I started a very small short in G. Very small. In fact, I was kind of fading it. I was like, I'm looking to take a bigger play. I told the room around half back and then add pretty good size because I didn't think we'd get above C's high and yesterday's high. Well, obviously, that started happening. And I was long 100 and got along about 150 puts around I's high, came in. Every time it came to half back, I was taking some off. I didn't put it back on. So I was still long about 120 puts when J period opened. Wasn't getting hurt. Wasn't really getting hurt. When J took out I and then J got above C, that's where I should have put the trade to bed. Because I would have lost money now, but it wouldn't have been bad. I was up about at least $2,000 on the day when this started happening. Well, lo and behold, instead of taking that trade off, I was like, well, let's see what happens in the single prints. And that's why you need to use a stop. Because if you have a firm stop in there, you get stopped out. Even if it comes back in, who cares? The trade was for a reason. That reason changed. It got above yesterday's high. Yes, there's still single prints, but who cares? You said your out was above there, get out. Well, I didn't. And not only didn't I get out, when we filled single prints, I added another 80. So now I was long 200 of the 420 puts. And then it started not accelerating, but K started going up, finally took it off, and I took a day where I was up 2,000 and lost 3,500. That's a disgrace. Now, I'm still having a good month, and I'll never get mad at anybody, but except myself. Doesn't matter, I had a game plan. Yeah, they stretched it too far. But who cares? Doesn't matter. And I didn't do anything the rest of the day, because once my mental reserve gets blown up, I'll just watch. So, shame on me. We talk about this. You're not bigger in the market. I had my out. If I had taken that out, I probably would have still been up some on the day. But it ran, I added, gave it all back, and another 3,500. Pretty sad. So, but the biggest lesson to learn today, two of them, respect your stop, and give credit to short-term algos and traders. Okay, destinations for tomorrow. And by the way, all we have today, after all this, is today's high and today's low is destinations. Although yesterday's high is going to be important to me because we have the outside day up close and above it, and that's basically where C period change took place. When we couldn't get above it, we flushed down, and then it failed. So where there was sellers earlier, I expect if we come into this tomorrow to find buyers. Because if we don't find buyers there, all we're going to do is chop around huge inside of today's range. Okay, destinations. Upside, only one, 420.72. Today's all-time high. Downside, again, only one, 416.44. Yesterday's low. Yes, I'll look at, I'm not using this as a firm destination where I'll write it down. So, yeah. And then we have 416.30. The bottom of the balance, which will be the weekly low if we don't get it. And then you should have all the other downside ones I gave you yesterday. And then just quickly on the charts. Remember, tomorrow night we will recap all the charts in SPY, IWM, and triple Qs. Monthly. 1 day to go in the month. We are up $24 for the month. Nice month. One time framing up. 6 months. Incredibly healthy. Weekly. We weren't getting distance away from last week's high. Well, we'll see where we close tomorrow, but look at this. Boom. Weekly up. One time framing up 5 weeks. And don't forget, we have a gap in both the monthly and weekly that are holding. And we have daily gaps all over the place below. And the daily, I will call this an outside day up. Because that's what it is. Look at that. We had a $2.70 range. I said it wouldn't be hard to take out both sides of yesterday. I didn't expect, though, to take out both sides and then come back and almost take out the other top again and close above it. Well, we did. Well, not almost, we did. But I meant today. We didn't get back to today's high. But that's, I didn't expect that type of action. Hope you had a better day than I did. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.